Hello dear students and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to cover some different topics. The first one, etymology of syntax, history of syntax, what is syntax. We'll get also some example of syntax, grammatical analysis. Let's start first with etymology of syntax. When we say etymology, we means from where we get the word. So we need to know more about the study of what? Of origin of the word syntax. The word syntax comes originally from Greek language. So it's Greek word. In Greek language, we'll find the word in two parts, okay? The first is sin and the second is taxes. Sin means together and taxes means an ordering. So literally it means a putting together or arrangement. So what about history of syntax? In the 19th century, with the development of historical comparative linguistics, linguists began to realize the huge diversity of human language. They also questioned assumptions about the relationship between language and logic. It became apparent that there was no such thing as the most natural way to express a thought, and therefore logic could no longer be relied upon as basis for studying the structure of language. And syntactic categories were identified with logical models in the past, and all sentences were analyzed in terms of subject, copular, predicate. When we say copular, it is a connecting word, in particular a form of the verb to be, connecting a subject and complement. And I think you know the verb to be. What do we mean with verb to be? Here we have am, is, and are. Okay, this is the base form of the verb to be. Okay, and we know that they come before complements. The main role of syntax within theoretical linguistics became clear only in the 20th century, which could reasonably be called the century of syntactic theory in linguistics field. So the 20th century is the century of the appearance of syntax. Now let's move to the point of definition. What is syntax? What do we mean with syntax? Syntax is the study of the structure and ordering of components within a sentence in a language. And it is a branch of linguistics. It is also covers the grammatical structure of sentences. The format in which words and phrases are arranged to create sentences is also called syntax. So here we can say syntax study the area of what? The structure of the sentence and how the components of the sentence are ordered. And here we means with components, the parts of speech or word classes, and also the phrases and clauses, okay, which used to make a sentence. So this is about components. Examples of syntax in a sentence. Okay, here let's look at an example of how a sentence can be rearranged to create varied syntax. Here we have this word. The girl laughed. Okay, the girl laughed loudly. Okay, when you say the girl laughed loudly, here we mean something, okay, and we think of laughing, the point of laughing, okay. So we think of the girl laughed loudly. Here we have three components or three main components, okay, in case we think of phrases, okay. In case we think of phrases, we have the girl, and the girl is noun phrase. Then we'll find verb phrase, which include laugh and some adverb. So according to the point, okay, that we are talking about, okay, as the structure and order, okay, the structure we have subject, verb, and adverb. Okay, we can think of this word as subject. Okay, we have these two words, the and girl are an article, and noun, they work as a subject. And then we have what? Laughed. Laughed is a verb. Okay, and the last item that we have here is what? It's loudly, and loudly is an adverb. Okay, so you can say it's an adverb. Okay, so what about the next point? Okay, here we can say in the second example, we have the same content, but in different order. The girl loudly laughed. Okay, so let's think of what? Of loudly. Okay, we have the form, okay, or the same word, okay, which is used in the previous example, which is loudly. Here will, you know, okay, or you can know that the adverb takes some other order. It comes after the subject. Okay, and we can think also of what? Of the third example, which include the same contents, okay, but with some other order. Okay, it include the word loudly in the first position. Okay, so we'll find loudly in the first position, okay, of the sentence. So here we have three different orders, okay, for the sentence, but we have what? The same content. Okay, we use the same content. Okay, so here we can note loudly in this part. Okay, so here loudly, okay, change its position. Okay, first we found it at the end of the sentence after the verb, and here in the second sentence we found it between the subject and the verb, and in the last or the third Example, we found it, yes, in the first position, okay, in the beginning of, or at the beginning of what? Of the sentence. Okay, so that means in syntax, we can think of what? Some different structures and orders for the same contents, okay? So here we should erase first, okay? Let's erase. Yes, before we start the new page. Good. So this is about the first point, okay, which connected with the definition of syntax. It is a study of what? Of ordering and structure of component, okay, in a sentence, or even study of structure of the sentence, okay, and also how are the components, okay, ordered, okay, in the sentence. Okay, so what about the next? Here we have the grammatical analysis. In order to think of analysis, it's very important to think of a grammar term. Okay, what do we mean with grammar? Grammar can be defined as the process of describing describing the structure of phrases and sentences in such a way that we account for all the grammatical sequences in a language and roll out all the ungrammatical sequences. Okay. So here we think of some points, okay, that should be explained also. The first one include what? The description of grammar, okay, so it describes grammar as what? As process. So when we say it's a process, okay, that means we have some type of steps that we should follow in order to achieve, yes, something, okay, in grammar. So we can say it's a process of describing the structure of phrases and sentences, okay? So how, in which way? Okay, he said that in a way that we account for all the grammatical sequences in a language and also rule out all the ungrammatical sequences. And we can say all language has different ways of forming grammatical phrases and sentences. Okay, here we have some example. Okay, when you think of English language, you know that in English, we should start with subject, then it's followed with verb, and then object. But in Arabic, we have something different. We have first a verb, and then the verb is followed with a subject, and then we'll find the object. Okay, so that means language have different ways, okay, in forming the grammatical phrases and sentences. So what about the methods that followed to analyze sentences. Here we have constituent analysis. It's one of the methods that using grammar to analyze constituents. When we say constituents, we mean what? The components, okay? The small components, okay, of the sentence, okay? We mean parts of speech, phrases, clauses, and even sentences. So we think of all of these things, okay, or all of these units, okay, are analyzed, okay, by this process. So what do we mean with constituent analysis? We can say constituent analysis is the technique, okay. When you say a technique, okay, that means it's a method, okay, which is designed to show how small constituents in sentences go together in order to form larger constituents. So here, when we say constituent analysis, we are talking about what? Technique, which is designed to show how small constituents or components in sentences go together to form larger constituents. That means how words work together in order to form larger constituent as phrase. How to build phrase out of words, and how to build a complete sentence out of what? Group of phrases. So here we have some type of example. We have different words, group or set of words, which are combined in some way. Some of them has the same function, okay? So they are colored in the same color. For example, here when we say noun phrases, you will find them here, okay, colored in red, okay? So the first group, okay, which colored in red, here we can call it as what? Noun phrase. And inside the noun phrase we'll find some other components. First here we'll find an and the articles. Then we'll find what? The adjective old. And the last will be what? The noun itself. Yes, man, woman, Sarah, and I as pronoun, okay? You remember that the pronouns replace nouns, okay? So this is its main function, okay? The use is still of nouns. So here we can call them even as what? We can call them also as what? As noun phrases. When we talk about pronouns, we can say also they can be used as noun phrases. So for this reason, this group, okay, is colored in red. Then we'll find the verbs, which colored in green, okay, as constituent, okay, they are colored here in green, okay. And the third group, okay, which included here is also noun phrase. It includes the article at, okay, then the adjective large, okay, and the noun. So together, as you see, the article or determiner and the adjective plus what? Plus noun will make a noun phrase, as you see. So here, this red words, okay, or the words which written in red, okay, compose what? Or make what? Make noun phrases. The last group, which start in prepositions, okay, and it's colored as what? As blue. We call this group as what? As the components of prepositional phrases. When we say prepositional phrases, we think of some form in which we'll find a preposition plus noun phrase. So we'll find to the wedding. So to plus noun phrase. In a cage. Yeah, so we think of preposition plus noun phrase with her. And her is pronoun, and the pronoun replaces noun. Okay, so we think of with her as what? Some other prepositional phrase. And the last one here is recently. And recently is adverb. So why do we link them in the same color as one group? Here we can say the function of prepositional phrases in English is what? Is adverbial. So we think of them functions similarly to the adverb. Okay, so we'll find what prepositional phrases which used to tell about place or even time are used as adverbial. So for this reason, we connect them together here in the same color. Okay, so we have some similar constituents as you see. Okay, noun phrases with the same components, with the same function. The noun phrase can be used as subject before noun or object after noun. Okay, and the prepositional phrases, we found them here or see them at the end. When you say to the wedding, that means to where, to the place, to some place. Okay, in the cage, where also, so it answers the same questions. So in case the prepositional phrase answers the question of when, of or where, that means they are accepted as what? Adverbials. So you will learn more about this point, okay, later, inshallah, in our